The music news for the streets, the music news for your beats, the news for the music stuff that you gonna need. We gon' talk about plugins, we gon' talk about gear. If it's news on this music, we gon' talk about it here. Let's go.
What up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Yes, yeah, guy. Something. Hit the keys. Today to give you guys a quick demo on Snapback by Cableguys. What is Snapback, you may ask? Well, let's go ahead and hop over to the website real quick, check this thing out. It is currently on sale for $29, but there is a free trial that you can grab for like a week and really test this thing out if you're interested. What is Snapback? Cableguys, an electronic music pioneer, BT, bring the art of drums and layering into fast focus effect. Just put Snapback on any drum track and it detects each hit, layering new samples on top in perfect time. So now you can add punch, style, flair, and all kinds of different stuff to your drums, which is pretty solid. Let's go ahead and hop into FL Studio, check this thing out. So with this thing, what it basically does is it gives you transients before your actual drum hit hits. So it's like it gives you a little buildup, which is pretty nice because it's kind of like a faux swing, if it makes sense to you. Because you know how like a lot of us producers tell you not to put everything on the grid every time because it sounds robotic. Well, this adds transients before the hit hits and it puts things in better time. You know, you can add more transients too over here, which is pretty dope. So they've got all kinds of transients, you know, that you can add to it, and you can add your own. So boom, you know, you see I've got a bunch of kicks that I've added over here. So you see I've got all the kicks that I typically use when I'm making beats and stuff like that, my boom bap beats. So I put all those over here, but really easy. To add sounds, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna play a little demo beat real quick and then we'll go through it. I'm gonna make sure I show you guys how to add your own samples. It's really easy, just gotta know what to do. So I made a little sample beat, it's a little house beat. It's not all the way mixed down, but this is kind of what it sounds like. All right, guys, so that's a little sample beat I put together for you guys today. Let's go ahead and hop back into this and check it out a little bit more. So I'm just going to play it on drums here for just a moment so you can hear kind of what it's doing to the drums as I was using it. And you'll be able to immediately tell like everything that it was adding. So this was the kick drum. I guess I'll start off with the kick drum. So this is what the kick drum sounded like without Snapback on there. Now, once I add Snapback on there, I got the kick to sound like this. So you hear those extra transients it's given before the start of the kick. That's pretty cool because when you're listening to the beat, so I'm gonna turn it off and then I'm gonna turn it on. Just make sure you pay attention to this orange knob down here, but you'll be able to hear when it comes on. So we'll start it without the Snapback on there and then we'll go. So you can see there, it added a whole bunch because it did add more than just that initial transient. I actually put another kick on top of that. So let's go ahead and I'm just going to turn off both layers for a second. I'm going to push play and then I'm going to turn on layer A and then I'm going to turn on layer B. And you're going to hear the extra it got when I added that extra kick transient to the kick. So you hear how it gave it that click and everything on the beat. That's very solid with this thing. You can do a bunch of stuff with this. So you can actually shift that transient if you want to. So you can make it longer or shorter if you want to. You've got control over the volume. You also have control over things like pitch. So I can change the pitch of that reverse room reverb. You got attack and delay, decay down here at the bottom. So you see there, you can do a lot of shaping with the drums with that too, which makes this a pretty solid tool. Then you have all these transients over here. And again, like I said, you can add your own transients on top. So let's go ahead and this probably ain't gonna sound the greatest, but let's go ahead and add this this black kick on top of it. So now I have it layered in perfectly. I can mess with the attack if I don't want to use all that. And then you have the decay over here too as well. And then you have your pitch right here that you can mess with. So you can do a lot with that. Again, you have shift over here and you have width, so you can widen that sound out too. So here I got extra wide with this room reverse, pretty solid. You got volume, dynamics, and stuff like that you can control, and you have filters on this thing. So let me show you guys something that's really important. As you're going to want to import your own samples, you can't drag and drop them. But what you can do is you can come right here and it'll say show user sound folder. And so then bam, open that up and then it'll give you directions on what to do. All you got to do is hit this open folder and it'll take you right to the folder right here. Now I left everything nasty looking like this because I messed up a couple of times putting the folders in here. So, you know, all you're going to do is some basic, you know, just go over to wherever your drum kits are at. And all right, so my drum kits are right here. Boom. Then I'm just going to grab individual folders. You can't drop the whole drum kit folder in there. It says to just drop individual folders. So then you would just grab whatever folder it is that you want. And if you're going to put it in the transient spot, then bam, just like you see here, I have kicks in the transient spot. It's the only thing there. Then I got snapbacks here, but this is the only thing that's in those folders. So if it's going to be something that's going to be a snapback, put it in the snapback folder. If it's a transient, put it in the transient folder. You see, that's how I got my kicks to show up. Just wanted to show you guys that because it took me a few minutes to figure that out. You know, probably the user error more so than the developer's error. So let's go ahead and listen to this on another sound. So I have this on a clap, right? And the clap sounds like this before I start. Now, once I throw the snapback on there, we got the clap to sound like this. So I kind of added that room reverse reverb to that again because I kind of like that. But you can come over here and I turn this on at some point in time, this snare rattle. This thing's cool because it's got a whole bunch of different sounds over here. So you've got weird stuff that you can play. Then you have like all kinds of just different Foleys. So I'm going to play a bunch of these snapbacks and stuff for you guys because I feel like you should be able to hear them. You know, so here's another one. So let's take this Foley away for just one moment. Listen to some of these snapbacks. So it's got some cool sounds. One thing that I think is really cool about this tool though is, so I have this drum loop here, okay? And on this drum loop, the drum loop sounds like this. So that sounds pretty cool. Now what you can do is, without snapback on, it actually sounded like this. I should have played it this way first. Now listen as I play it back again, it's like I'm getting like an open cymbal sound. So it's giving me that open symbol into my hi-hat. So it's just like a setup, like how you would make a beat. So if I turn that off, all right, so this is a sample. Now, how you make this work is, this is probably something I should have showed you guys already. You can make it trigger through audio, or you can make it trigger through MIDI. You can sidechain. If you would like, you can monitor just the sound and what it's adding. You've got different algorithms because you can use this on more than drums. I probably would just use this on drums and 808s, or maybe like a funky synth if I was making some kind of aggressive beat. But you can use it on other things. If you want to add transients or different snapback effects and stuff like that to vocals, you know, you can make it sound cool. Now, right here, you have this threshold, and this threshold allows you to cut out all the sounds that you don't want to add snapback to. So I'm going to push play real quick. I'm going to turn this down, and you're going to hear snapback's going to be on everything. So you can hear how you're getting all that shaky, you're getting all that extra noise because it's hitting every single transient. But each one of these lines is a different transient. And if I turn it up, I can just get the sound. I can isolate the sounds that I want to use as I'm using this tool. So if I push play and then I turn this up, so you really can send this to a drum bus or whatever it is that you're doing, and you can use the sound to isolate on whatever it is that you want to use the sound on. I think that's pretty solid. I also used it on this hi-hat right here. This is what the hi-hat sounded like without snapback on there. Nothing too fancy, but then once I threw snapback on there, I got it to sound like. So that added a lot to that snare, but again, we can come over here. We've got all kinds of different stuff. So you see, I can just change up the way that the drum sounds and the transient sound immediately. I think that's, you know, I think that's fire, obviously. Let's see here. I'll play a couple more sounds for you guys, and then I'll show you another thing that you can use it on too as well. So let's see what this humming whack sounds like. We'll check out a couple more of the snapbacks too. Let's check out this voice one. I swear to God, that sounds like it's saying yeet, 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 yeet. Tell me I'm not wrong. Yeet, 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 yeet. I might use that in a beat. I'm not even gonna hold y'all. So another thing that you can use this bad boy on is you can use it on an 808. I know that we are the way that 808s and basses are nowadays. People aren't using basses and 808s in their tracks. So if you wanted to add just a little transient to your 808, you could do that. So here is what I guess the sub bass that I used, or the synth bass that I used, sounded like in this beat. Now, once I turn this on, I get it to sound like this. So you see, just like that, it added that kick in there for me. You know, makes putting the kick and bass combination together pretty easily. We can come over here. Let's go ahead and grab one of my kicks. The kicks aren't going to match though, because these are all boom back kicks and I made a house beat, but let's go ahead and check that out. All right, so we'll put this kick in here. Now it's going to sound like. And then you have obviously control over all that other stuff that I've talked about a lot. You know, you can bump that volume up, get it a little louder. And then let's see how that sounds in the beat without the other kick in there. It does sound a little odd because I added in a bunch of other sounds and stuff like that. But I guess, what are my final thoughts on Snapback? I think that this tool is fire because of the fact that it's just adding those transients. Like, in order to do that, a lot of times, you know what I'm saying? You've got to edit the sample. You got to flip the sample. You've got to get the volume of the sample right. You got to get the right effects on there. But with this, it just allows you to immediately throw like a reverse reverb on there, or it immediately allows you to throw in other transients, or it immediately allows you to boost up your sound and boost up your drums by, you know what I'm saying, combining other drums in just an easy fashion. So I think this is solid, especially if you're looking to get a different kind of swing in your beats, or you're just trying to see what it is that people are doing to get the lead into those drums with their melodies and everything else like that. I think it's a good tool for that. I've used it for the past few days. You know, again, I think it's pretty solid. There's a free trial for this. It's only $29. I definitely recommend checking this out. So make sure if you guys do like this content though, you drop a whole elbow on that like button, hit subscribe and that notification bell, so every time we bring you guys a new video, you can be the first to see. Appreciate you guys' time as always, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.
Some, hit the key.